pack animals, so they are not designed to be left alone all day. And if they are, they often become bored or anxious, which in turn leads to problem behaviours like barking, digging, chewing, even trying to escape the house. That's why doggy daycare can be so good. And I reckon we should go see what happens behind closed doors when we're not around. Bodie, what are some of the reasons people bring their dogs here?
So a couple of reasons why is, first of all, it can help with their separation anxiety, which is pretty distressing for both the dogs and the owners. It also helps with mental and physical stimulation and general socialisation, interacting with all the dogs as well, and just helping them get into a routine.
And what does a typical day look like?
A typical day here will be from 7:30, all the dogs will start rolling in, and then once all the dogs have kind of settled down, we'll bring out the beds at around 11, 12 for a little bit of quiet time. Some of the dogs also get a lunch for third feed, and then after that, the toys will come back out for a little play before they go home.
Oh, that sounds like a great day. Yeah. And what is the enrolment process if someone's considering doggy daycare here?
Yeah, well, to start off with, they've got to be fully vaccinated and de-sexed over 8 months of age. And then once those boxes are checked, they come in for a 30-minute temperament test.
Yes.
And then with that, the team will just test basic recall, their toy aggressive or treat aggressive,
yes.
How they react to other breeds or other sized dogs or their energies. And then once those are all checked off, then they can come book in as they need.
Oh, nice. It looks like they make friends here as well.
Yes.
And Bodie, how do you deal with dogs that are a little bit anxious or a little bit reactive?
So with some of the dogs that are anxious, we'll try and give them a little bit more attention, get them out of their shells, or we'll pop them into a little bit more confident pens, which can also help. Or with dogs that are a little bit aggressive, we'll pop them into more calmer pens, or in worst case scenario, they'll go for a little time out.
Okay, because it can take them a little while. Little Millie here is still warming up on her first day.
It does take a little while.
Diggity Doggy Daycare is a great way to provide your dog with some company, enrichment and socialisation, but it's not for every dog. If your dog has a lot of anxiety or is a bit reactive, visit your local Petstock vet or your Petstock dog trainer and check them out at petstock.com.au. With an increase in guide dogs and handlers having to deal with distractions from off-lead dogs and even uncontrolled dogs on lead, I figured we should get some etiquette tips from guide dogs trainer Cassie, thanks to NextGuard Spectra. Cassie, what are some of the key issues that handlers are having to deal with?
Guide dog handlers and their dogs face distractions from pet dogs every day. So often we'll have off-lead dogs running up to the guide dogs. Some pet dog owners will let their dogs approach a guide dog handler and their dog, and they may mean well, but if they don't make themselves known, it can be really startling for the handler and their dog.
I bet. And it can become dangerous as well for both the handler and the dog, can't it?
Yeah, these situations can become dangerous. It can be disorientating for the handler and it can make them feel stressful and anxious. And in extreme cases, our guide dogs have been known to become attacked by pet dogs, which of course causes harm to the dog and is a distressing event for all involved.
And there was some research that showed that some handlers have become so nervous they've even changed their patterns or where they go.
Yeah, they will often avoid certain areas after a negative experience or change their routes, which can, again, be stressful for them and just unnecessary.
So what should people that are dog owners or in general be doing when they see a handler with their guide dog?
Yeah, so a few tips. First of all, to keep your dog on lead at all times unless they're in a designated off-leash area, and to keep your leash short so that you are able to manage your dog and prevent them from jumping or contacting passers-by. If you do choose to approach a handler and their guide dog, try to make yourself known and approach the handler directly instead of trying to interact with the guide dog. Another tip feeding on from that is to not distract the guide dog, so don't try to pat it, feed it, whistle at it, as hard as it is, because they are obviously beautiful. That can really, impact their work and their concentration and lead the handler into unsafe territory, so try to avoid that. Prevent your dog from barking at other dogs or people. Try to regain your dog's concentration and reward them for not barking at other people in the environment. Always ask other people in the general public before approaching their dog with your dog, which is an important lesson to teach children as well.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of these apply to anyone with dogs out in public, and also working on your recall is another big one too, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Cassie.
No worries, thank you.
Learn more about Guide Dogs Australia on their website and check out their key petiquette, that's etiquette for your pet tips, on the Pooches at Play website. When it comes to choosing the right collar and lead for your dog, there are a number of things to consider. Is it for training, adventure sports? Does your dog pull or spend a lot of time in the water? For general day wear, a well-made and sturdy flat collar is the best choice. Choose one that's made from durable materials and a quality buckle that isn't going to snap like those cheap and cheerful ones always do. Great examples are the Rog's Classic Collar or the Classic Padded Collar, which also has a non-shift pad to distribute pressure evenly, giving extra comfort and support. Their Rog Lock buckle is the 4 knocks of plastic release buckles and can be locked securely on larger sized dogs like Millie here. Both can be worn in the water, a quick dry, and can be paired with their classic lead that has highly reflective stitching for enhanced visibility during those twilight walks. Attach a Rog's utility double split lead if you walk 2 dogs at the same time, or use 2 of them if you walk 4, like I do a lot. The flexi retractable leads are more suited for slower dogs or for scenting walks, where it's all about a leisurely stroll and stopping to sniff and pee. For obedience training, I recommend a flat leather collar with a sturdy buckle that sits high up on their neck and a leather lead to go with that. Still on the training, if you are struggling with a dog that pulls, the Rog's Utility Stop Pull harness with a multi-lead or a Spawn head halter that uses gentle guidance from the withers, not around the face, can help. These must be fitted properly though and comfortably. You can check out my segment on how to stop your dog pulling in this series as well. Standard harnesses are useful for small dogs like little Darcy here, brachycephalic breeds, those ones with flat faces, or those that have had a neck injury, as well as for car travel, with martingale collars or the Rog's Control Collar Web being good for greyhounds and whippets whose heads are smaller than their necks, as it helps to prevent them from slipping out of their collar. The Rog's AirTech range is great for active owners and dogs. It includes a classic collar, a sports harness, Bindi is modelling both here, and 4 different leads that are perfect for outdoor adventure and the beach. Finally, if you struggle with buckles, the Rog's safety collar that Millie has on here, but you can't quite see, has a magnetic buckle and stretch elastic for an easy escape in an emergency. It can reduce the chances of injury when it gets snagged or during 2-dog play. Pop into your local pet stock store to check out the Rog's range and get your dog fitted for the one that best suits your lifestyle.
As a Petstock Rewards member, if you purchase any participating brand of flea, tick and worming treatment, including NexGard Spectra, they'll give you 15% brand cashback to use the next time you shop for the same brand, even if it's on promotion. T's and C's apply. Visit the website for details.
A lot of dogs have permanent reddy brown stains and crusty fur around their eyes. They're known as tear stains and they can make an otherwise well-groomed happy dog look a little sad and sorry. Stains can also appear around the mouth or on your pet's legs or belly if they chew or lick their fur too often. There are several common causes for tear stains, and once they appear, they tend to be an ongoing maintenance issue. Tears are supposed to be sucked up by the tear duct opening on the lower and upper eyelid and drain through the tear ducts to the nose. In dogs with tear stains on their face, the tears aren't being directed to the nose and are instead spilling over onto the face. Some breed-related issues can also cause them, such as extra hairs in the corner of the eye, which are known as hairy caruncles, rolling inwards of the lower eyelid or entropion, which is common in brachycephalic dogs such as Shih Tzus and pugs with squashed-in faces, and lazy tear ducts where the tear duct doesn't open or work properly. Depending on the severity of the underlying cause, surgery may be required to improve drainage. In milder cases, maintenance will suffice to keep their face clean and dry. Less commonly, some dogs are born without a tear duct opening at all, and I often see this in Cocker Spaniels. A surgery is required to correct that problem. Another cause for tear staining may be overproduction of tears if something's irritating the eye, like pollen, wind, and extra eyelashes, known as distichia. If your dog has a mucky ocular discharge, and especially if they're also squinting or rubbing their eye with their paw or on the carpet, then take them to the vet ASAP to avoid any threat to their vision. Causes for this could include allergic conjunctivitis, dry eye, inflammation inside the eye, which is called uveitis, or even corneal ulcers. And when it comes to managing tear stains, it's important to keep the fur around the dog's eyes short and combed out, along with using a safe and natural topical solution each day to wipe and keep them dry around that area. Keeping the area dry helps to prevent secondary bacterial and fungal infections. Never use products containing peroxide or tooth whitening gel, as these can be irritating and actually quite destructive to the cornea. Opt for something that's effective and natural to keep those stains at bay. The DGG Tear Stain Remover is an Australian-owned and made product. It contains soothing oat and chamomile, as well as aloe vera, It's pH balanced for dogs and it doesn't contain any soap, bleach or other nasties. So check out their website for more details.
Should we get going? Clean that face? Dr. Edward, as a holistic vet, you must see a lot of dogs with anxiety, yet so many owners are still missing it.
Yeah, it can be way easier to miss than a lot of people think. So there's 4 faces of anxiety that we see in dogs. 2 of them are super easy to pick up and no one would miss them. Number 1 being the fight,
Yes.
which is the lunging, barking, reactive dog.
Fear, aggression.
Number 2 is the flee, which are the ones that are, you know,
Pretty obvious out of
back in
here.
the distance. But then we have number 3, which is the freeze, dogs that go still or get suppressed. And the final face of anxiety, which a lot of people think is just a happy dog when it's not, is the fidget, which is the out of control, boisterous, jumping all over, not responding to commands type of dog.
Yeah, and that happens a lot when people are walking in the door, don't
Yes,
you
it
know?
does.
It's not always just because we've reinforced jumping or anything, though we probably have, but also it's happening because they're just over excited, but also quite anxious under there. So what should people be doing? I mean, why is it so important that they don't just let this slide and go, oh, well, it's, you know, my dog's a bit anxious, big deal?
Well, it'll keep getting worse, and then you'll suddenly have a big problem that you didn't know was a big problem till it got big. And the sooner you act to do something about it, the better your chances are of really curing the problem very quickly.
And it impacts on their overall health and well-being, which people just don't seem to realise.
Oh, a lot of distress, a lot of suffering,
Yeah.
a lot of harm to the immune system. It takes a big hit on vitality and longevity over time.
Yeah, so what are some of the things as a holistic vet that you recommend people do?
Well, the main thing that I do is something that I've discovered and developed, which is using therapeutic touch for behaviour modification. So Mitzi here, he gets super excited very easily. And if you then use certain qualities of touch, it helps bring him away from being crazy and aroused into healthy relaxation. And if you do that every day, over time, you can reset the dog's whole nervous system. So, for instance, I had one staffy come to me who was eating the house when left alone.
Wow.
2 weeks of the family doing this beautiful body work, which the dogs love, by the way.
Yes.
And he was so chilled that he was happy at home alone, didn't even get off his bed some days when his mum came home.
Well, I have done your course and I practiced it on Bindi, who, because of his rough start in life, didn't really like being touched along his back in a lot of places. But now, he actually, I get my fingers out and he's like, oh yeah, just if you could do it in that spot,
That's
please.
right.
And as a result, he is a lot calmer overall and I do use it. Yes, I do, to get him calm. How can people learn more about it?
Come along to wholeenergybodybalance.com. We have some free masterclasses and things that you can come and join me in.
Yes, your webinar is fantastic.
And we have a whole range of online trainings where you can master these skills and make a massive difference for your dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. Give it a go. I've seen the results. And Mitzi, yes, you love the results, don't you?
He does.
You're going to get one now, I reckon. Yeah?
To learn more and register for a free masterclass with Dr. Edward, visit wholeenergybodybalance.com.
The Paw Pals program, run by MacKillop Family Services, is helping students who have disengaged with education re-engage with learning again. The program continues to grow and has now expanded into the region of Ballarat. Garth, how's the program been helping students in the region?
Well, I think there was a real gap between mainstream school and specialised school, and there were a lot of students who were missing out on that extra care that they needed and an ability to share their narrative around trauma. And this program's allowed for those students to be picked up and an ability for them to share that story and to be seen, possibly for the first time in their life.
And what are some of the programs that you run?
So within the Paw Pals itself, we've got group therapy, which is fantastic. That's 3 to 6 students. We've also got individual therapy as well, which is really helpful if a student just needs to share by themselves.
And how have the students responded in your school
It's been
specifically?
incredibly positive. They're attending more to school itself and they're much more engaged within the school setting, and they really look forward to that week-by-week interaction that they have with the dogs, which is great. And that's then filtering into the classroom where other students actually want to be part of the program, even if they're not already, which has been wonderful.
And how did your school become part of the program?
Well, we've had a relationship with MacKillop Family Services since November 2022, when they approached us and said we would be willing to take on the school as their home. And at that time, we had a lot of students that were in need of therapy, and we'd been working with play therapists, but the Paw Pals program and dog therapy was a natural progression for us and a wonderful chance for our community to see that there are therapies out there, not just outside of the school, but also within the school. It was really going to help those children with trauma.
Growing the Paw Pals program in Ballarat has not only been made possible with the support of Greg and his school, but support from the Petstock Foundation has meant a second dog and handler are now on board.
Already we've been able to expand a little bit our program in Ballarat by having Yanni and Sarah join us, and so we can reach a lot more children, which is great.
And have you got plans to move elsewhere after this, interstate or into other regions?
At the moment we're going to really try and knuckle down and nail Ballarat with all the demand, and thanks to our partners, the foundation will be able to hopefully continue what we're doing Melbourne, Geelong and Ballarat, and into the future maybe a little bit more as well.
And how did Millie come into the program?
Well, Millie is a perfect fit. She actually is a rescue dog, and so she has had a little bit of trauma in her own past. So with the kids that we work with, it's a perfect fit. So we can actually talk about how that can impact our emotions and behaviour, and we also talk to them about how we regulate Millie when she's having a bad day.
Oh, lovely. Well, thank you, Millie. You've done a wonderful job. I'm going to play with you a bit later, and I'm going to go. Can we go say hi to Yanni now?
Absolutely.
Oh, lovely. Hello. Hi.
To learn more and support the MacKillop Family Services Paw Pals program, visit mackillop.org.au. And to learn more about the Petstock Foundation, visit their website.
Creating homemade treats and meals for our dogs has become increasingly popular, but they shouldn't just taste and look good. They need to be healthy too, which all of your creations seem to be. Daniel, what have you got for us today?
Today we're making the most important meal of the year, and that is the birthday cake.
Oh, look at that. That's amazing. So talk us through how we are going to create that.
Yes, so the secret to every cake is a good batter. So we're using the Big Dog Turkey recipe, which includes ground turkey meat. We've got turkey bone, turkey heart, turkey liver, seasonal fruits and vegetables like green banana, which is absolutely great for your dog's gut health, kelp, wheatgrass, the list goes on. For the icing today, we're going to be using potatoes. So just peeling them up, boiling them and mashing them, that'll get you the icing.
Nice.
For the colour, we're going to keep things natural, and we've got some dragon fruit powder. Let's say your dog's favourite colour was yellow, you could use like a turmeric powder. If you wanted a green colour, we like to use spirulina. Also, blue's been very popular in the kitchen, so we use a blue spirulina for that. All natural, and they turn out great with the potato icing.
While chocolate is toxic for dogs, carob is a safe alternative. To create our love hearts, Daniel used a chocolate mould and melted some coconut oil with the carob before freezing it overnight. To create the base, the Big Dog raw food mixture is packed and smoothed into a cake tin, and then it's also frozen overnight. Thanks to the magic of TV, Daniel had one he prepared a little earlier so we could move on to the peeling, boiling and then mashing the potatoes.
What are we doing next?
Next, we're going to ice the cake. So the potatoes you've mashed, let's bring them over. And we're going to add the icing colour, which was the pink dragon fruit. So we're going to sprinkle a little bit in. And the next step, I'll grab you a little spatula, give that a little bit of a mix until it all comes together.
Okay, nice. So what do you love about using Big Dog in your recipes?
When in the kitchen, I find it super important to use really good quality ingredients. Big Dog is all human grade and locally sourced. Which is a big plus. And also, another big thing is, let's take turkey for example. Feeding turkey to your dog, although it's a really good protein, feeding the same meal every day for 15 years, 20 years of your dog's life isn't as beneficial as, say, feeding beef 1 week, goat, lamb, salmon, pork.
Bit of variety.
Exactly.
Spice of life.
With Big Dog's formula, they make it super simple with their range to do all that.
Icing the cake involves smoothing the dragon fruit flavoured potato mash over the frozen base and using a piping bag to decorate along it, along with the carob hearts. While my cake wasn't quite as polished as Daniel's was, after ensuring the base had defrosted again, we put it to the ultimate taste test with Daniel's trio of rescue dogs.
Birthday cake!
You can find chefs and dogs on all the popular social media platforms, as well as some of their recipes in the Education Centre on the Big Dog Pet Foods website.
A dog's nutritional needs are complex and they change with age, just like ours do. Simply giving your dog some meat, veggies and rice just isn't enough. They need a complete and balanced diet appropriate for their life stage. Puppies require a diet rich in protein, calcium and calories for their growth and energy levels. So look for puppy-specific formulas and split their total daily requirements into 3 feeds. For example, if they need 90 grams a day, you'd give 3 feeds with 30 grams in each meal. You keep doing this until they're around 6 months old, and I also like to add in a good quality probiotic to support their developing gut. Giant breeds have very specific requirements as they not only grow rapidly, but they continue to do so until they're around 18 to 24 months of age. For most other breeds, after about 6 to 9 months of age, they move into adolescence and growth slows down. So reduce their meal frequency to 2 times a day, and your vet can assess their body condition to determine the exact amount that you should be feeding. Then, at 10 to 12 months of age, your puppy can be transitioned finally onto adult food, which is lower in calories and fat. They can be fed once or twice a day depending on their individual needs. Mature adult dogs at the age of 6 to 7 years of age experience a decrease in their metabolism and activity levels. So a diet that is lower in calories and higher in fibre can help to maintain their weight and digestive health. Consider adding omega-3 fatty acids and other supplements that support joint health and cognitive function. A dog is considered senior when it's lived 75% of its breed's average lifespan. Muscle mass, arthritis, dental disease, skin health and kidney function can be compromised, so a diet specific to this age group is really important. And keep going with those supplements, they're even more necessary. Pregnant and lactating dogs also have specific nutritional needs, as do dogs with certain health conditions or diseases. And remember, when it comes to treats, they shouldn't make up any more than 10% of the total calorie intake per day. Also, choose one that's appropriate for their age, because the mouth of a teething puppy is very different to that of a senior dog. Finally, if you notice any changes in your dog's eating habits, stools or energy levels at any time, always seek the advice of your vet, as a change in appetite can often be the first sign of disease. To check out the VitaPet treat range for all life stages, visit their website.
Would you like to win a Pawsome prize pack worth over $2,000? One lucky person will win a year's supply of VitaPet treats, Big Dog Pet Foods, NextGuard Spectra Monthly Chews, a $250 Pet Stock gift voucher, $500 worth of DGG grooming and apparel, a year's subscription to Dog TV and a signed copy of both my books. Plus there's 3 consolation prizes up for grabs too. To enter, sign up to our e-news and name one of the charities featured this series. All entries will receive a free ebook too, so visit poochesatplay.com. That brings us to the end of this week's episode, but there's plenty more information and entertainment on the Pooches at Play website and social media platforms. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.